Next I'll make the stem and leaves using my green yarn. First I'll pull up a loop in one of the chain 2 spaces of the previous row. And then chain 1. Now that chain 1 is going to count as a single crochet. Next, around the chain 2, I'm going to double crochet 1, treble crochet 1, then I'll create a 3-chain picot. To do this, chain 3, and slip stitch in the 3rd chain from the hook. Then I'll chain 3 more, and single crochet again in the same space. That'll create the first leaf at the bottom of the petals. I want to have 2 leaves in each chain 2 space, so I'm going to repeat that again. So double crochet 1, treble crochet 1, create a 3-chain picot, chain 3, and single crochet 1 in the same space. In the next chain 2 space, I'll do the same thing. Single crochet 1, double crochet 1, treble crochet 1, picot, chain 3, single crochet 1, double crochet 1, treble crochet 1, picot, chain 3, and single crochet 1 all in the same space. Then I'll do the same thing in the last remaining chain 2 space. Next I'll begin to make the stem using single crochets. So I'm just going to single crochet around the post of each double crochet I made in the previous row. Since I made 1 double crochet per leaf, I should end up with 6 single crochet stitches total. So pull up a loop around the post of the double crochet from the first leaf, which is the 2nd stitch of the leaf, and single crochet. I'll repeat that around the post of each double crochet. Okay, now I have 6 stitches. If you like, you could leave it like that and continue to add rows of single crochet until you get the length you want for the stem. Or if you want the stem to be just a little thinner, you could decrease in the next row. I'm going to decrease 2 times in this row, so that I have 4 stitches for the stem. So I'll single crochet into the first stitch, then into the second and third stitch I'll insert my hook into the front loops of both stitches, pull up a loop, and single crochet to decrease. Then I'll single crochet into the fourth stitch, and then decrease again into the 5th and 6th stitches. Now before I continue, I'm going to add the wire skeleton I made for the stem. I like to make mine with 6 strands of wire twisted around each other to add more strength. I made a 20-inch wire skeleton, with 2 larger loops at the top to keep the wire from migrating out of the stem. I'll insert the wire through the bottom of the petals into the hole at the bottom where I'm going to create the stem. And I'll make sure to leave the 2 large loops of the wire at the top, under the petals, to keep the wire from moving out of the stem. If you like, you could even sew down the loops using some yarn of the same color to make sure it can't move out of place. And then I'm just going to single crochet in each stitch, working around the wire until I've created enough rows to cover the whole wire. I'm going to cut off my yarn. And use the end to sew the bottom of the stem closed around the wire. Next, I'm going to create the foundation for the leaves. I'm going to pull up a loop a couple of inches down from the top of the flower. And then I'm going to chain 20. If you want to create a longer or a shorter branch of leaves, you can chain more or fewer times. Next, I'll slip stitch in the third chain from the hook, and in the next 12 chains. Again, if you want a longer or shorter branch, you can slip stitch more or fewer times. Now I'll chain 15 to create the next branch. Then once again, slip stitch in the third chain from the hook and into the remaining 12 chains that I just made. Then I'll create the final branch with another chain of 15. Again, slip stitch in the third chain from the hook and in the remaining 12 chains that I just made. And if you like, you can make more branches, but I'm just going to end this branch by slip stitching in the remaining chains until I get back to the stem. Then I'll slip stitch to the stem, and cut off a long tail of my yarn. I'll use this tail and the tails of the leaves I'm about to make to sew the wire skeleton into the leaves and branches later. In the top 8 stitches of each branch, I'm going to create a leaf across both sides. I'll start on this side, work my stitches across toward the tip of the leaf, then across the other side back to where I started. Also, I'm going to work into just one loop, and I'll leave this row of middle loops out so that they form a line down the middle of the leaf. Also, I'm going to leave a long tail so that I can use that tail to sew the wire in later. So I'm going to pull up a loop in the 8th stitch from the tip of my branch, and chain 1. In the next stitches, I'm going to double crochet 1, treble crochet 1, double treble crochet 2, then treble crochet 1, and double crochet 1. Now I've reached the tip of the leaf. Into the stitch at the tip, I'll single crochet 1, double crochet 1, then picot. Then double crochet 1 and single crochet 1, all in the same stitch to create the pointed tip of the leaf. Next, on the other side of the branch, I'll mirror the stitches that I made on the other side in the next 7 stitches. So double crochet 1, treble crochet 1, double treble crochet 2, treble crochet 1, double crochet 1, then chain 1 and slip stitch to the 8th stitch from the tip of the branch. Then I'll cut off another long tail of my yarn to use to sew in the skeleton later. Then I'll repeat that to make each leaf. Alright, I've finished with all 3 leaves. Next I'm going to make the wire skeleton that goes along the branch of the leaves. I'm going to mimic the shape of the branch that I just crocheted when making the leaf. I'll make the bottom of the wire skeleton branch about an inch longer than the bottom of the branch itself, so that I can sew it in underneath where I place the branch along the stem to give it extra support. That way the branch won't just flop down. Then I'll twist another layer or 2 of wire around the whole thing to give it strength. Then to sew it in, I'll line up the wire with the back side of the leaves and branches with about an inch of wire extending down the side of the stem. And I'll use the tails of the branch to sew down the wire and cover it up completely. And I'll do the same thing to the leaves. And now this rose is finished. There's a ton of ways you can customize this design. You could use different colors, different amounts of petals, different lengths of stems, branches, and leaves, or different amounts of leaves or branches. If you use any of these techniques to make a flower of your own, I'd love to see your interpretation. You can find all of my social media links in the description below. If you enjoyed this tutorial, press the like button and share it on social media. And if you want to see more tutorials like this in the future, subscribe to my channel and I'll see you all next time. Bye!